To calculate child support, Illinois law requires that we look to, each party's income, such as wages, lotto winnings, money that fell off the back of a meat wagon, and generally any money a party receives, it's presumed income for purposes of setting support, even if the IRS disagrees. Welcome to Illinois. And this is true for just about everything except loans. Now, for years, we've held that loans generally aren't income, or at least they weren't, until the appellate court dropped a kind of mini bombshell a few weeks ago. Find out more about this bombshell after the jump. Judge Scanicio was tasked with interpreting the ISBA's latest change to the IMDMA, namely whether or not loans are still presumed to be discounted for purposes of setting child support, in light of the current 2017 changes, of course. And she ruled that, at least in her case, due to mom's meticulous bookkeeping, those personal loans that she took out from her family should not be considered income for purposes of setting child support. Now, this isn't the first case dealing with loans, but it is the first major one published after the ISBA amended Section 505, which is our child support statute. Now, using my magical Lexis Plus subscription, I found the same cases involving treatment of loans as income for purposes of setting child support that the opinion also found. Particularly involved a farmer who borrowed, these kind of large sums annually from a bank, sort of like an advance, and used it to run the farm during, slow times. The Tigler court ruled those loans shouldn't count towards income. Baumgartner dealt with home loans like a second mortgage and such, and it too felt that those really aren't incomes. But keep in mind, both of those cases predated the 2017 changes. And by the way, in case you're wondering, Lexis Plus didn't sponsor this video. I recently added them as an ISBA member. I get Fastcase for free, but I wanted to compare the two. So when doing this video, I did that, and in a later video, I'll show you how each compare as I prep for this commentary. Anyway, Baumgartner's analysis held that the key inquiry is whether or not the borrowed money is really, borrowed, and whether repayment was required or not. So you'd think in the most recent case, Ash, that the appellate court is going to say the same thing. Hey, loans aren't income unless they're sham loans. Like, here son, have $1, pay me back whenever, and of course, whenever never comes. But they don't. Instead, they deem them potential income, or more practically, that the trial court starts its analysis with presuming loans from friends, family, or whoever are income absent evidence to the contrary. And as crazy as this sounds, it kind of makes sense. For example, what if the borrower purposefully defaults on that loan, or the friend or family member forgives the balance, or the person files a Chapter 7, but the money borrowed is non-recourse debt, meaning the creditor is probably taking the donut on that one? In those cases, is the judge really supposed to look the other way on that? Now, before you think the appellate court just turned child support calculations upside down, they throw out a lifeline, and that's Section 505, subparagraph A, subparagraph 3.4, subparagraph C. Whew. That said, let me turn this tongue twister over to April to talk about that.
In Illinois, child support derives from a mathematical formula established by Illinois Department of Healthcare and Family Services. But in rare instances, the court may deviate from this formula if the application would be inequitable, unjust, or inappropriate. In doing so, the court must make written findings specifying the reasons for the deviation, such as extraordinary medical expenditures necessary to preserve the life or health of a party, or a child of either or both of the parties. Additional expenses incurred for a child subject to the child support order who has special medical, physical, or developmental needs. Or any other factor the court determines should be applied upon finding that the application of the child support guidelines would be inappropriate, after considering the best interest of the child.
So yes, Virginia, loans are income, but, and there's always a but, they can be excluded from the formula provided the court makes written findings to that effect. I know some of you are thinking, hey, isn't there some case law that says that transfers of money from parents to children are presumed gifts under the law? Yeah, and isn't it true that that can only be rebutted by clear and convincing evidence? Yes. But the appellate court stresses, two factors the judge should consider in rebutting that high presumption. One, whether the money directly increases the recipient's wealth. And two, whether repayment was truly required. One crucial thing to note in this case, Ash, dad wasn't paying the full child support payments. Mom's parents were floating her money. That was kind of less than the shortfall, and she testified that had dad been paying like she was supposed to, she wouldn't have needed to take out the money. And I think that was a crucial factor that swayed in mom's favor. So Judge Kenichio's win streak continues, and her record is, wow, it's 14-0-2. She is a juggernaut. So the takeaway, loans are income, but if it's a legit loan for legit purposes, the court can discount it from the support provided written findings are made to that effect. Anyway, before I go, I want to thank all of you for supporting this very tiny channel. For me, I get to mix both my occupation and my personal hobby, which is videography, if you can't tell, which is why I kind of love doing these little tiny videos, and I look forward to bringing more of these in the coming years. So enjoy that ball drop, and I'll see you all